You know, building your own home, for a lot of us, that's the absolute dream, right? But on a salary of 26,000 rupees a month, does it just have to stay a dream? Well, today we're going to shatter that myth. And this isn't just some high level theory. We're going to break down the exact financial roadmap of someone who is making it happen step by practical step. And, every great plan has to start with a really powerful why. It's that emotional fuel that keeps you going. So let me introduce you to Milina, a 25-year-old from Meghalaya. Her dream, it's not just about bricks and mortar. It's about giving her aging parents a secure and comfortable life. You can just feel that sense of responsibility in her words, right? That's the engine driving this whole journey. Okay, so here's the game plan. This is the journey we're going to take together. We're going to walk through 6 key stages, starting with Melina's dream, then getting real with her finances, and then we'll build the plan, literally brick by brick, from laying that foundation to finally turning the key. All right, first things first, let's really get to know the person at the heart of this story, because if you don't understand her motivation, the plan won't make as much sense. So here she is, Milina. She's 25, works for an NGO, and for the last 3 years, she's just felt, well, stuck. She hasn't been able to save anything. But here's the thing, and this is really the crucial part. The clock is ticking. Her parents are getting older, and the place they live, it isn't legally theirs. They could be asked to leave at any moment. That feeling, that constant uncertainty, that's why this isn't just some nice-to-have goal. For her, it's an absolute necessity. Okay, so we've got the why locked in. Now let's get down to the what. Because every big dream, it has to be grounded in reality. So let's take a hard, honest look at the numbers. Okay, so Melina's take-home pay is 26,000 rupees a month. And what you'll see right away is that this isn't just about her. She's a provider. I mean, she's contributing to the household, covering her own costs, and even helping with her siblings' education. So after all of those absolutely essential family contributions, her expenses come out to 18,000 rupees. And that leaves us with a really critical surplus to work with. And this is the number that changes everything. After a little bit of restructuring, this is the amount, 7,000 rupees, that's going to be dedicated every single month to one single goal, building that house. This right here, this is the engine that's going to power the whole dream. Okay, so the numbers are clear. Now it's time to build the foundation. These first steps are all about creating that financial discipline and, super important, a safety net. This is the bedrock for everything else we're going to do. The whole strategy kicks off with 3 really powerful moves. First, her existing savings, we wall that off. It becomes a protected emergency fund. You just do not touch it. Second, she automates her expenses. 15,000 rupees is set aside the second her salary hits the bank. This is so key. And third, by doing those first 2 things, the remaining 11,000 rupees is just automatically isolated. It becomes her investment capital, totally ready to be put to work. All right, we have our surplus. The big question is, how do we make it work for her? Well, the plan uses this really clever 2-pronged strategy. It's designed to handle her short-term family responsibilities while at the same time building towards that long-term dream. So the first tool in the toolbox here is something called a debt mutual fund. Now, you can think of it like this. If the stock market is a roller coaster, with big ups and big downs, a debt mutual fund is more like a steady escalator. It's not as exciting, maybe, but it gets you there. It's all about safety and predictability, which makes it absolutely perfect for those non-negotiable short-term goals, like school fees, where you have to have that money ready on a specific date. And here's how that whole 2-pronged thing works in practice. That 11,000 rupee surplus gets split. A 4,000 rupee monthly investment, or SIP, goes into that safe debt fund that handles the yearly stuff, like school fees. And just by automating that one thing, the remaining 7,000 rupees is now mentally and financially completely separate. It's ring-fenced for one single purpose, building that down payment. All right, let's get to the real core of the strategy now. We're going to zoom in on that 7,000 rupees and see exactly how it transforms from just a monthly saving into the actual down payment for her family's home. And this right here is the central challenge, isn't it? The timeline is tight. We're talking just 2 years. So how in the world do you grow this money in a meaningful way, but without taking on so much risk that you could blow up the whole dream? It's a real balancing act. So for a 2-year goal, you're looking at a classic choice: risk versus stability. You've got a nifty 50 fund, which is tied to the stock market. It's got higher potential for growth, sure, but also a lot more short-term volatility. It can be a wild ride. Then on the other hand, you've got something like a gold ETF, which is usually seen as a safer harbor. Given her short timeline and just how critical this goal is, the choice was clear. Protect the capital she was building. You can't gamble with a dream like this. So here's the plan, broken down into 4 simple steps. And look, this is not about complicated trading or trying to time the market. It's all about unwavering consistency. You invest that 7,000 rupees every single month. No excuses, no breaks for 24 months straight. The goal here isn't to hit a home run. The goal is to aim for modest but stable return, maybe around 6.5%, and just let that disciplined, consistent growth do all the heavy lifting. And so after 24 months of that incredible discipline, here it is. This is the result. Her investment grows to about 1.8 lakhs. And listen, that is not just a number on a screen. That is the down payment. That is the key that unlocks the entire next chapter. All right, it's time for the end game. The down payment is in the bank. So let's see how Milina makes that final leap from being a dedicated saver to becoming a proud homeowner. This really puts the whole thing into perspective. So the target home cost is 6 lakhs. Her hard-earned 1.8 lakhs covers a 30% down payment. And that is a fantastic position to be in. It means she only needs to get a loan for the remaining 4.2 lakhs. And here it is. This is the magic moment where the whole plan just clicks into place. The estimated monthly payment, the EMI on that loan, it's just 5,000 rupees. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That is less than the 7,000 rupees she was already investing every single month just to build the down payment. And that right there is what makes this whole plan so brilliant and totally sustainable. The financial habit she worked so hard to build doesn't just disappear, it just transforms. That 7,000 rupee investment payment is now replaced by a smaller 5,000 rupee loan payment. It fits perfectly into her budget, and get this, she even has a brand new 2,000 rupees surplus to start planning for whatever her next goal is. You know, Milina's story is just such a powerful reminder that with a clear map and the discipline to actually follow it, even the biggest dreams can be broken down into small, achievable steps. So the real question isn't just for Milina anymore, it's for you. What's that one big dream that feels completely out of reach right now that you could maybe, just maybe, start mapping out today?